Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and my guest is Terry Wiley, candidate for Alameda County District Attorney. Terry, what experience have you had within the district attorney's office? I believe you've been there roughly 30, 31 years.
32 years.
Now, just sort of enlighten us on our viewers in terms of the kinds of experiences that you've had that really equip you to do this job and do it better than your opponent.
Well, first of all, I'm the first African-American chief assistant district attorney in the history of Alameda County. And what I tell people is I didn't work my way up to chief assistant. I fought my way up to chief assistant because I came into an office that was dominated by white males at the top. They ran pretty much everything in the district attorney's office. And so I fought my way up to the top to be the first African-American chief assistant. But in fighting my way to the top, I've held over 21 different positions.
21?
In the district attorney's
Don't tell
office.
us all about those 21.
No, I have to tell you the
Just
21.
name 2 or 3.
Well, I've tried some of the most complex criminal cases in the history of Alameda County, including the Ryder's case, where Oakland police officers were accused of a lot of different acts of criminal conduct that amounted to significant police corruption. And I tried that case. It resulted in a hung jury, but it also resulted in the Oakland Police Department being put on federal oversight.
And I think my next guest may get an opportunity to talk about that. So
yes.
Okay, well so that's how that case ended, right?
It did. It ended with the department being under federal oversight.
And that was what, 12 years, 13 years ago?
Long
time
years,
ago.
20 years
20 years old. That was almost before I was born.
No, 20 years.
Okay. But it's been going on for a long time, and now it seems to be winding down. Is that right?
It does, and I think that they've made a lot of positive changes, so we'll see if they're going to be able to get off of oversight.
Good. I'll save some of those questions for my next guest.
Right.
You talk about your 5 key policy principles in your campaign.
Yes.
I'm going from your website.
Yeah.
I believe what websites say. They say
Yes.
you got these 5 principles. I believe it. The first one you talk about is implementing progressive policies. What does that mean? I mean, it could mean anything.
Well, Bob, I think that when you talk about implementing progressive policies, what you're really talking about is enhancing and expanding alternatives to incarceration diversion programs.
Do you have some diversion programs in the district attorney's office?
Yes, they just recently did a study of all 58 district attorney's offices in California in assessing their alternatives to incarceration diversion programs, and Alameda County came out number 1.
Number one?
We have more alternative programs to incarceration and diversion programs than any other office in the state. And we're at about 21 different programs. And what I mean by alternatives, I mean that we have special courts that deal with veterans who come into the criminal justice system. We have mentor diversion for...
No, what's a mentor diversion?
So with mentor diversion is we recruit mentors to mentor individuals.
The district attorney recruits mentors?
Well, it's a combination of the courts and the district attorney's office, where we recruit mentors to mentor young men who have gotten caught up in the criminal justice system, primarily through drug cases, and we basically try to get them on a different path out of the criminal justice system. They're under the diversion program for about 18 months, and if they successfully complete the 18-month mentor diversion, then their case gets dismissed. And really what we focus on is either trying to get them to, many of them have not graduated from high school, so we try to get them to go at least get their GEDs and continue their education.
So you work with some of the school systems in the county, within the county.
And we try to get them to go to junior college if they've received their high school diploma or equivalent to the high school diploma, in order to give them greater job opportunities, and then we also try to help them find job opportunities also.
Now, do you try and direct them into specific trades that they could
We do.
learn and be
we,
productive citizens?
we've actually been expanding our contact with the labor unions and creating some of these opportunities.
Are you getting cooperation from the
Yeah.
labor unions?
Oh, absolutely. The labor unions, it is a very big part of what they do. Because labor unions, their incentive is to bring in people,
Right.
because that's what makes their unions stronger, by bringing in folks. And many of the people you come into contact with in the labor unions were folks who themselves had problems in their youth, and the labor unions provided them with an opportunity to work and take care of themselves and their families. So the labor unions offer excellent opportunities for young men who are trying to find their way.
And when you say find a way, you mean looking for the path to rehabilitation and living a productive life.
Yes, and
without committing any crimes.
well,
Right?
without committing crimes, and without letting them or making them understand that there are other alternatives to selling drugs or committing crimes to make money.
And it's important to remember that there are other opportunities. And if you find yourself involved in the criminal justice system, don't become despaired. Just think about that it may be an opportunity for you to change your life, turn it around. Don't touch that remote. We're gonna be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and my guest is Terry Wiley, candidate for the Alameda County District Attorney. November 8th is the voting date. We'll be right back.